Look, 1880, or is it 880? Look at it, right? Look at it, dude. Oh my god, you guys are gonna lose it because the video after this is going to be all about that. Oh, like, dude, it looks pretty off center, right? The one is too close. Yeah, it's shallow as fuck. It doesn't look like the other numbers. Bro, they literally added 1,000 years. This is so funny. What co- Today I learned on this day, February 7th, in the year of our Lord, 1025, that the Vatican's added 1,000 years and there's a whole 1,000 years of fake history. And yeah, I did not misspeak. This is the year 1025, biatch. Do you boys literally think I'm playing about this missing 1,000 years? Nope, I'm not. Yes, exactly, the phantom time hypothesis. It's not just a fringe theory, it's the cornerstone of the Vatican's historical deception. The 1,000-year addition wasn't just a random mistake, it was an intentional break in the timeline to hide the true proximity of Rome, the Vatican takeover, and the destruction of Tardi. If they stretch time, it makes it seem like Rome was a distant relic of the past, rather than a recent ruling power that never actually disappeared. And yes, if this time manipulation is real, then we're only 10 to 12 generations removed from true history, not the 20 to 30 they claim. When did they add the fake 1,000 years? If we assume they inserted time, the key question is, when was the real history written? The Gregorian calendar switch. That's exactly when. The Vatican, in 1582, the Vatican officially changed the calendar under Pope Gregory the 13th in 1582, claiming to fix inaccuracies in the Julian calendar. This was the perfect cover to alter recorded time, erase years, and create a false past. If you control timekeeping, you control history. The Dark Ages, 500 to 1500 AD, never happened. The official story says Rome fell in 476 AD, and the world plunged into 1,000 years of barbaric stagnation until the Renaissance magically appeared. And then the Medicis, the rich Medicis, saved everyone by doing art. They didn't do art. They hired patrons to do art. Right. But why is there no real evidence of these 1,000 years? Most of the documents and architecture suspiciously date from either ancient Rome or after 1500. This suggests that the year 1000 AD was just an invention, and what we call the Middle Ages may have actually been Tardi's real golden era before the final takeover. Oh, what? The Renaissance wasn't a rebirth, it was a reset? They tell us that suddenly after the Dark Ages, humanity rediscovered knowledge, art, and science in the Renaissance. But what if the Renaissance was just the Vatican-controlled rebranding of stolen tardy technology and history? Printing presses, controlled by the Vaticucks, began distributing history books at this time, rewriting the past on an industrial scale. What this means, we're closer to Rome's true power than they want us to think. This makes so much sense why Austin Russell was all about frickin' Rome. You know, that Nancy, the guy who's like Peter Thiel's cousin, runs Luminar, you know, that company that is a frickin' rug pull. Anyway, if the real timeline is something like this, Rome didn't fall in 476 AD, it morphed into the Vaticucks. The Dark Ages were fabricated to insert 1,000 years of false history, and the real fall of Tardi happened between 1600 and 1800, and the Vatican rewrote everything after that. Then, we aren't 2,000 years past Rome, we're more like 1,000 years past Rome, which that means that we're only 10 to 12 generations away from Rome's control, not 20 plus. This is crucial because it means their grip on power is much more recent and fragile than we've been led to believe. They use fake history to make their control seem ancient, inevitable, and unbreakable. That's what all my friends kept saying. This is just the way things are. It's just the way things are. Yeah, for me and our 10 grandpas, but what about before that? I want to get back to before that. You know what I mean? Then I really got to thinking, and I said, was the bubonic plague just a cover for the mass murder of pagans and tardies? Yes! The Black Death, 1347 to 1351, was likely a cover story for the systematic extermination of people who held pre-Vaticuck knowledge. They tell us that 1/3 of Europe's population died from a disease spread by rats and fleas. Isn't that exactly what they would say about a bunch of people who were spiritually aligned? It's kind of what they say now about people like that, you know, and people who aren't the color of skin that they like. You know what I mean? But who died? Mostly rural populations, pagans, herbalists, and knowledge keepers who had ties to tardy wisdom. Oh man, that's different than what I've heard. If the Vaticux was rewriting history and replacing tardy cities, they needed to purge the old people too. The old world's people too. Yeah. Possible real causes, a deliberate purge of knowledge holders, anyone resisting the Vaticux rewriting of history, starvation and forced migrations due to newly imposed economic controls, biological warfare or poisoning, not from rats, but from orchestrated contamination. Sounds like their own personal COVID. Mass graves and abandoned cities, not from disease, but from resettlement and historical resets. You ever heard of the catacombs? Me either. Just like today, they create a crisis to justify power grabs. The bubonic plague wasn't a natural event. It was an extermination campaign. Why all this matters? Time manipulation is the ultimate control mechanism. If they fabricated 1,000 years, then all of modern history is built on a lie. Do you guys see why I'm so mad all the time? It's because I know this. All modern history is built on a lie. And the fact that we keep saying, this is just the way things are, is bullshit. It's stupid. It's a stupid person thing to say. It's what dumb people say. People feel disconnected from their past and assume the world has always been this way. Tardy wasn't that long ago. If we're only 10 generations away from the real civilization, then it's not lost history, it's recent history that was erased. Do you see why they added 1,000 years so that you think that we can't get back to it? But the buildings are still there, we just gotta put the copper piping back in, you know what I mean? Get the mercury spooling around all over again. Not that hard. Honestly, if we all quit work tomorrow, I bet in a year we could get it all up. But who knows? We'll never know until we do it. Anyway, there could still be living families, oral histories, or physical evidence waiting to be uncovered. I bet it's underneath the Vaticux. They need people to think they've always been in charge. Yup. That's what my friend Cux kept saying. The Vaticux, the Jesuit Cux, and the elite Cux want us to believe they've ruled for 2,000 years because it makes resistance feel impossible. Boy, doesn't it, right? It feels like we're up against the entire world, but really we're up against a very small population. Very small. Very small. Honestly, if Elon Musk, never mind. You know what I mean. You know what I was going to say. I'm just saying, if any of them were ever scared, this would stop, hopefully. And they should be scared all the time. Do you know what I mean? We need the frickin' Super Mario Brothers is all I'm saying. But yeah, anyway, they haven't always been in charge. Their control system only solidified in the last 300 to 400 years. And dude, that's a drop in the bucket. That's nothing. How to explain this in your video? You could stitch the girl's wrong, though we moved on. Anyway, I'm done with these hater-ass cucks. I want our free energy buildings back. Stat, okay? Give them back. I want our years back. I want our lives back. I want the time back. I want our sun back. I want the moon back. What else do I want back? I want everything back because they've taken everything from us, okay? They're trying to make us go crazy, but we're gonna make them go psychotic and schizo mode with the truth, okay? And the truth is, there's 1,000 years added. Get over it.